Hello friends, in this tutorial we are gonna learn how to access the router configuration remotely through the host machines. So let's make a network, get the router, and you need a switch and add some in devices that are the host machines. You can add any number of hosts to the switch as per the capability of a switch. So let's connect them. Let's connect to the fast Ethernet 0/0 port of a router to the switch fast Ethernet 0/1. At first we will provide dynamic IP address to these host machines. If you haven't watched my previous video for providing dynamic IP address to the host machine, go for that video first, and then you will clearly understand this video. So let's configure this router for providing dynamic IP to the host. Bad marks. Oops, sorry. I need to put here one down, and let's create this DHCP pool. Network B. Zero, and default router is 1.1, and again let's exclude the router IP from the DHCP pool. Okay, now we have provided dynamic IP address to these host machines. Let's check out. Oh yeah, you have successfully provided dynamic IP address. Now what we are gonna do is we are gonna manually access this router from these host machines for the configuration purpose. For that, at first we need to configure this router by setting up username and password. So let's configure terminal and set user name. Let's say Susan, and let's provide privilege 15 secret. What this command mean is setting username Susan and providing privilege to the user Susan 15, that is the max privilege, and secret mean the password, that is difficult is our password for the user Susan, and hit enter. Let's also make another user name with the privilege 0. Let's set test and privilege 0 secret. Let's set test. And what does this line means is setting up a username called test with privilege 0. With the privilege 0, the user test cannot directly access the configuration terminal of a router, but here the user Susan have privilege 15, so this user can access router directly and its configuration. So let's hit enter, and let's move to line console 0 and login local ones, and let exit, and again let's go through the line pty024 and again login local, and then we need to write the code transport input all. Yeah, we have set the user successfully for the telnet purpose. Sorry, I forget to tell in the beginning that we are gonna access the router with this host machine through the telnet command. So let's set enable secret enable secret. Let's set the password. Hello. And what this line mean? This all lines are for the telnet purpose. So here the enable secret hello line means to give privilege 15 for the test user that has user privilege 0. We need to enable secret, and this hello means the password. So whenever we will access this router with this host machine through the user Susan, we can directly access the configuration mode of this router. But while we try to access this router through the user test in this host machine, we are not able to configure this router. So to make the test user also a super user, we need to enter a password, that is password hello. So we need this line at the last. So hit enter and exit, and then don't forget to write the commands to the router. Now let's check it out, it will work or not. So my router IP address is 192.168.1.1 that I have previously defined this IP to this router. You can also see that IP address 192.168.1.1. Now let's click a new host machine and go to the command prompt and then write telnet 192.168.1.1. Here we have successfully set the interface for accessing the router configuration through the host machine. So let's try the super user, that is the user Susan, and let's enter its password. Yeah, you can see that we are directly prompt to the configuration. Oh sorry, we are directly prompt to the configuration mode through the user mode while login through the super user. Now let's try the another user which has privilege 0. Telnet test is our user which has privilege 0. So 1.1 and username test. Let password also we have set test. Login invalid. Let's try again. Test. Here you can see the difference between this line and this line. While using the test user that have privilege 0, we are only prompt to the user mode, not the configuration mode. So here to enable the configuration mode or to switch the test into the super user, we need to enter a password that we have set in the last line while configuring the router. So let's enable. We need to type enable, and here the password required that we have set at the last line while configuring the router, and we have set it hello. Here you can see while entering the correct password we were prompted to the configuration mode again, and from here also we can configure the router through the telnet command. And this is how we can remotely access this configuration of the router through any host machine connected to the network. And that's all about telnet, and thank you for watching.